I also want to share a success story from another client of mine named Martin. He had been working as an individual contributor engineer for, I think, well over 20 years, a long time, a big portion of his career. And now he's 1 year into his first management position. That's where he was at when he first reached out to me. So this was a huge change. He was a top performing individual contributor engineer. He worked in mechanical engineering with HVAC. So he would work on these big projects with lots of stakeholders and contractors and architects. So he knew this industry inside and out, but he was used to being the hands-on expert throughout his career. So instead of managing and leading, he developed this habit of just taking everything over and doing everything himself. 1 year later, he's working 70 to 80 hour weeks. He's drowning in work. He's absolutely buried. He's burnt out. And meanwhile, at the same time, he felt like he couldn't even trust his team to take over any of the workload for him. He couldn't afford the risk. He was worried that balls were going to get dropped, things were going to be missed, mistakes were going to get into the field, and there'd be costly consequences to it. So he just couldn't relinquish that control. He didn't have the trust in his team to do it. And quite frankly, he hadn't established the right relationship with his team either for them to earn that trust or for him to grant that trust. So there's a lot of different dynamics at play here. That's when he came to me for help. I could hear the exhaustion in his voice. I could hear the frustration in his voice. I could tell how he felt like giving up. But instead of giving up, what we did is we started by listing out all the things that were eating up the majority of his time. So we created a list of all these things that he was doing. Then we categorized them by risk level and by ROI. Then we focused on the ROI, and the ROI was based on time. How much time would he gain back by these things? So we used this list to create a step-by-step plan with safety rails for him to begin offloading specific tasks onto his team. And by the end of our first session together, session 1, he had a whole new energy about him and a whole new confidence. On our first call, he's sounding exhausted. He's talking about giving up. And after our first call, he's got a whole new energy. He's excited to take action on the action plan we put together. He sounds confident and comfortable with having these discussions with his team. And it's because he saw that there was a path to a solution. Before that, he felt like there is no path. I don't know how to get out of this. This is just a never-ending cycle I'm in. But now that he saw the solution, we're engineers, we're problem solvers, so we want to take action right away and implement. This is why he had so much success right away. That was after our first session. By our second session, he was already finding ways to apply the techniques we covered towards delegating more of his tasks than we even covered in the first meeting. He was finding ways to delegate more responsibilities throughout his team. Just 2 months later, after a few more sessions, he actually reduced his workload down to 40 hours per week. So he was drowning in work, 70 to 80 hour weeks. But we created a way for him to offload big portions of his workload, especially with managing the production schedule, so he could create a lot more work-life balance. Now, if you're hearing Martin's story and you feel like you can relate to that, if you feel like you're drowning in work and you can't figure out how to effectively create that work-life balance where you're getting this work delegated and offloaded onto your team and finding ways to utilize your team's unique strengths, I encourage you to book a connection call with me. We can explore your options and figure out what the best path is for you to figure out a way to get you working down to a manageable schedule so that you enjoy your job again. Everything we do together in the one-on-one coaching is based around teaching you how to utilize leadership skills and soft skills to create efficiencies and to get more done, but also to teach you how to get your team to get more done at the same time. All my clients also say that this is so valuable in their personal lives and their relationships too. We cover self-management and leading yourself, but we also cover influence and how to understand all types of people and how to influence and motivate all types of other people. So that includes personal things like, how to influence your children and how to influence your husband or wife. A lot of people tell me that, hey, I used this technique to dissolve an argument that I was having with my wife the other day. So these are universal skills. We're going to focus it on how to help you be an effective leader. But really, these are universal life skills that you can use in every area of your life. If you want to learn how to build these skills, please book that connection call.